Welcome to lesson 63, factoring with dots. And we use this method when we find the difference, so subtraction, of two squares. So both numbers have to be squares. Here's our CFS. First, as always, we're going to identify if there's a GCF, and we factor that out first. If you know you have the difference of two squares, we're going to execute dots by identifying the roots of the first term and the last term. Then we're going to take the roots and replace the last two with m and n, so we can create the form x plus m, x minus n. Let's go to our first example. I'm going to do this example twice, one really expanding out the math so you can see all of it, and the second one doing a little more mental compacted math. So what you're doing in the first step is you're really trying to factor out the square roots. So of course, first I recognize there's no GCF. So what I'm going to do is find the square roots of both of these terms. And so for the first one, 16x squared, I have 4x and 4x. And that way I know I'd get 16 and x squared. And again, I'm looking for square roots, not just any factors. This isn't just a regular factor tree. And I'll do the same thing with 9y to the fourth. So 3y to the second and 3y to the second. So here we go. I have my square roots. And now I'm going to rewrite this in the format x plus m, x minus n. So watch I do this. I have 4x as my x terms. One is plus, one is minus. And then for my m and n, I'm going to have positive 3y squared and negative 3y squared. So it is in form. To check it, I just use my array model. Again, it's still just FOIL. And I want you to watch and see what you see and what you notice. So here's 4x, positive 3y squared, negative 3y squared. Okay, so I have 16x squared, 12xy squared, negative 12, oops, I want to put it to say xy squared, and negative 9y to the fourth. So what you're probably seeing and noticing in these boxes is that these two are opposites. They're going to create a zero pair. So they're going to cancel out, which leaves us with our 16x squared minus 9 to the fourth. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there so you can see it. They cancel, they're opposites. And there we go. So you can see this is an excellent way of representing the difference of two squares, because when we factor it out, our middle terms will cancel each other out. Now I'll show you with the more compacted way what this looks like. And I know for many of you what you're doing is in your mind you're already finding the square roots of both numbers. And so you're kind of already doing this in your heads, but we want to make sure we see the work. And then we're just putting it into our format. And there you go. You get the exact same answer. So either way will work. You can either show all the factors, or you can just mentally find the square roots of both terms. Hit pause and jot this down into your notes. Let's do one more example together. So here I have my problem. So I'm going to look to see, is there a GCF? And yeah, there is. The GCF is 4. So I'm going to factor out 4. And I have 4x to the fourth minus y to the eighth. Now, because I still have the difference of perfect squares, I can still factor this further. So let's do that. I'm going to find the square roots of both. And that gives me 2x squared and y to the fourth. So now I have 4 times 2x squared plus y to the fourth, 2x squared minus y to the fourth. And just like in the last case, you can use let's just check our work. Let's just check it. So first I'm going to just distribute. Let me put our final answer up here. As before I FOIL it out. Let's distribute. So I have 8x squared plus 4y to the fourth times 2x squared minus minus y to the fourth. I want to make that super clear. I just like the array method for foiling. I find it just helps me organize my work way more easily. Okay, so my first terms are 16x to the fourth. Here I have 8y to the fourth x to the second, negative 8x squared y to the fourth, and negative 4y to the eighth. Now our middle terms, they do kind of look different, but notice it's the same thing. So I still have x to the second, y to the fourth, and a negative 8 and a positive 8. So these are just opposites. So I am left with 16x to the fourth minus 4y to the eighth, which was our original answer. So it's properly factored out. All right, so let's hit pause and jot this down into our work. All right, now before we release you out to your checkpoint, here are two problems for you to try out on your own for some guided practice. Hit pause, solve these, and we'll reveal the answer at the end. All right, let's do the reveal. Let's start with the very first one. The answer for the first one is 1 plus 2x, 1 minus 2x. And for the second one, we have 4 times 2x plus y to the third times 2x minus y to the third. That's it for today's lesson. If you had these answers, check them off. If you have something different and you're going through your work and you're not sure why, there will be a link in this video in the description that you can hit, and we'll go over how to do these two problems. I will see you in the next lesson, Math Marvels. Be well.